Well, hey everybody, I'm John Ritland, and this is my review of NXT Takeover War Games 3. It was just an okay show, a few moments, there were some nice big moments, but overall just kind of average and everything, except I kid, this show was fucking incredible. It's one of the top 5 takeovers of all time, easily. I know that a lot of people tend to say that with a lot of takeovers, like, oh, it's the best takeover, and then the benefit of hindsight, and looking back on it, some takeovers don't age all that well. However, with this one, top to bottom, even the pre-show match, this was absolutely incredible. They had some incredible spots. The 2 War Games matches did not get boring. The 2 matches in between had their moments and had a lot of great spots. I'll get into a few criticisms that I do have, as I have yet to see a really perfect show, but everybody just delivered some great goddamn performances here. And no, the Derb is not part of this. He is busy this weekend. He's got other things that he's doing. I am taking care of this review and the Survivor Series review, and he should be back for the Raw review and all that. So anyway, let's start off with Sam, Charlie, and Pat McAfee on all the goddamn Red Bull in the goddamn world. Pat, that is. I mean, Sam, Sam, I don't know if they're trying to make him a heel commentator or what, but Sam is infuriatingly awful. He just is. He's freaking awful. Charlie's great. She has some good energy and everything, and has that broadcaster mentality to her. And we cut footage of Mia Yim having been attacked, and Rhea Ripley just wondering what the hell's going on, who attacked her. We don't know. It was pretty obvious who the fuck attacked her. I mean, I think everybody instantly, like 90% of Twitter, 90% of like wrestling Twitter just automatically went to who it was. And obviously it was Dakota Kai. It was obviously Dakota Kai. But we then go to the first pre-show match, which I believe is the first pre-show match that an NXT US TakeOver has had. I think the UK TakeOver actually had a couple. But anyway, it's Isaiah Swerve Scott. Yep, had to represent Swerve right there. Met him at numerous Defy shows and Without a Cause show. Terrific guy, down to earth, super talented. The guy you see in a match like this, he delivered performances just that great on the indie. He really is absolutely incredible. If you ever get a chance to meet him, very down to earth, very cool guy. So he took on Angel Garza, hot start. Nearly scary spot with a head scissors where Swerve nearly landed on his head. Both these guys are pros. Thankfully, Swerve was okay. There were some good spots afterwards. A lot of flippy shit as you would expect. One point, Angel Garza just removing the pants, which reminds me of Tai Chi from New Japan. And I'm not saying he's wholly original, but and there goes the pants. That's going to be the line. And there were some other good moments. Angel Garza with some good flippy work, but also some good groundwork. Swerve, coming back. Haying a DVD on the apron, as we know, the hardest part of the ring. We get a double stomp outside. And then we get that big kick, that big step-up kick that he does, but just 1-2. Angel Garza tries for a low blow. Swerve stops him. And then soon after hits a low kick, but not a low blow, and just gets Swerve enough. Hits the wing clipper, 1, 2, 3. So Angel Garza continuing his momentum. Swerve is going to get his just due, and he's going to rise up into the ranks. But I can see why they're going with Angel Garza right now. It's a quality opening match. Very good athletic display. And then we get Mia Yim being taken to a #local medical facility. Just say hospital. Just say fucking hospital. Maybe don't say fucking hospital, but just say hospital. Fucking hospital is something entirely different, where Ivy's going places where let's move on. The whole point of this was Dakota Kai is going to go with Mia Yim. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll just go with her because maybe I'll keep her quiet about the fact that, oh yeah, I attacked her because I didn't want her to be part of Team Rhea. And then Rhea's like, Dakota, here, you're going to be on the team. You want to get your revenge on Shayna? I know that you attacked Mia and that you're clearly, obviously unhinged, and you've been unhinged since I didn't pick you on the team. But what the fuck? Why not just come and be part of this? So anyway, we then get a lot of delays and pauses with the kickoff panel. Charlie saying at one point we're waiting on that tweet. Sam says he doesn't know who the 4th guy is, but he was trying to break the news. And then Pat McAfee, evidently on even more Red Bull, comes running out and saying, I don't know who the 4th guy is, but I'm going to run out into the crowd in a sports jacket, a shirt, and jorts. Whatever. It was what it was. He just hyped up the crowd. NXT. Have Pat McAfee on every goddamn show. And he did College Game Day earlier today and still managed to make it there in time. Now, I think it was at Ohio State, which isn't too far from where they were. They were in Chicago. But, man, the guy's a freaking workhorse, and I'm really, really happy they got him on the kickoff panel. So anyway, cool video package where Shawn Michaels narrates it, And, he did not lose his smile during this, and he did not, take his ball and go home. I'm kidding. Shawn Michaels did a great job on this video package. Some great stuff hyping. In fact, we have 2 War Games matches bookending the show, and we get 2 more than quality matches in between. And at one point, commentary as we go live says, NXT has been hustling and grinding across all 3 brands. Good luck on Cena. I know my followers would like that. So, Team Rhea versus Team Shayna. Team Rhea, comprising of Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, and Dakota Kai, versus Team Shayna. Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Kaylee Ray, and Io Shirai. Io getting a fucking huge pop. I don't blame them. Io is just easily one of the most athletic, one of the most talented, and one of the most beautiful wrestlers out there. I mean, period. And people say, oh, you don't just mean women. No, wrestlers, period. You could put Io Shirai against a lot of men, and I think the match would be just fine because Io just has that it factor. Her and Asuka have that it factor. And not that Kairi Sane doesn't, but I'm just talking like that badass feel about them. So, who's going to start the match? Who's going to start the match among these 4 teams? It's Candice and Io starting. Again, huge reaction for Io. They have a nice little scrap. At one point, the clock disappears because it's 5-minute intervals, first 5-minute interval, and then 3-minute intervals for each individual entrant. And the crowd at one point starts chanting, where's the clock? Because they want to chant 10, 9, 8, 7. Not to be disrespectful. They want to interact with the show. I don't think that it was that bad. And it's a Chicago crowd. You got to keep a Chicago crowd happy. And I don't know if the venue was full, but it sure sounded full. This was a very, very hot crowd. Candice and Io having some great moments in here. I'm not going to be able to recap every single moment that happened here in this match or in the men's War Games match, so I'm not even going to attempt it, but I got a lot of notes here. Bianca out next, and she of course just like beating everybody up, getting the 2-on-1 advantage, her and Io taking over on Candice. And then Rhea comes out and just starts going under the ring and getting trash cans, throwing trash can lids, kendo sticks, and all that stuff in the ring. They don't get tables. We get tables later. Don't worry, folks. Don't worry. But if you watch the show, you already know that. Rhea's out there. We get a lot of, great plunder being used. Kaylee Ray out there and gets lots of chairs. And this was some good stuff. Candice at one point just gets superplexed onto the chairs. Ow. Bianca hits a 450, knocking into the chairs. Ow. Good God. Dakota is next. And it's okay. We got 3-on-3. And then Dakota just blindsides Tegan and just starts beating the shit out of her. Now, this is where it might take me a minute to talk about this because she just blindsides, beats the shit out of Tegan. Now, keep in mind, Rhea and Candice are in the ring, and 3 other members of Team Shayna are there. And Dakota, it was perfectly done. I can't believe that they actually got me on this. I mean, I had a feeling that Dakota would turn, but I figured Dakota would turn in the match. They actually did better here. They had her turn there, beat the shit out of Tegan, knock her knee into the, into the door, like slam the door on her knee and everything. Her surgically repaired knee, well, one of her surgically repaired knees. And Dakota also has surgically repaired knee. I guess they're fighting, as one of my mutuals said, and I'm not going to call them out by name, but they know. I guess they were fighting over the last good ACL. That was a brilliant tweet, by the way. You know who you are, by the way. You know who you are for saying that. That was great stuff. So, Dakota just going nuts, just scorching, just beating the shit out of Tegan. And obviously it was safe, but she just unleashed. She even pushed Regal at one point, like punched Regal. Okay, that's saying something. I mean, Dakota was like going all out. It's like, well, hey, you're gonna turn heel. You might as well do that. And Regal's pretty much the most beloved authority figure that they've had in quite a while, at least the longest tenured authority figure that's most beloved in a while. And yeah, just this was great. Dakota continued to beat the shit out of Tegan to guarantee she would not be in this match. So it was going to be 4-2. Now I figured they might throw Toni Storm out there or something like that. Like, hey, we could throw like one more person out there, but maybe nope, it's officially you got to go 4-on-2. So okay. Shayna gets in. It's a mugging. It's an absolute mugging 4-on-2. It's like to the point where Shayna's team's just going to win. They're going to win. You could have even had Duke and Shavir in here, and then no, actually you shouldn't have had them in there because that would have made the match infinitely worse. But just some great stuff. You get at one point where Rhea gets the standing Texas Cloverleaf thing on Io. And Rhea starts to get the Terrafuda clutch on, or as I call it, the Barracuda clutch on Candice, and just starts choking her out and stuff like that on the ropes, like on opposite rings. And it was absolutely great. It was a 2-ring setup, by the way, for War Games, and this was some great stuff. Candice with some kendo stick shots, including one that I fucking felt. I think somebody in the Pacific Islands felt that. That was absolutely scary. I'm sorry, but the Avalanche Poison Rana to Kaylee Ray. I hope Kaylee Ray's okay. She got up and did some other spots sometime afterwards, but she was really holding her neck. Now, maybe she's just really good at selling. Kaylee Ray does seem good at that, but I was legit worried. It was a Poison Rana off the top. Candice is a safe worker. Do not misunderstand, but that spot, I know that it's supposed to be War Games. You're supposed to go out, but no, that's a bit too much. That's a bit too much. And I'm not knocking the women. I'm happy they went out there and went all out and showed that the women should have main evented and that they deserved a War Games well before this. But that move made me cringe. And that makes me cringe in New Japan or anywhere. It doesn't matter what company it's in. I was worried that Kaylee Ray was hurt, but apparently she got back up and did some stuff, so maybe it was just muscle memory. Maybe she had no idea what she was doing. It's possible. Io is in on top of the cage, and Io decides to do a moonsault. Just says, okay, fuck it. I'm Io Shirai. I'm one of the best in the goddamn world. Here we go. Moonsault. Insane. Just absolutely insane. We get the Terrafuda clutch on Rhea, and Rhea ends up getting the handcuffs that were brought in because it is cuffing season. It is winter after all. Google cuffing season if you don't know what I mean. Maybe don't, actually. Maybe don't do that. But anyway, there are some chairs set up in the ring. There's a lot of shit going on here. I mean, I'm not even going to try to get into all of it. But so Shayna is handcuffed to Rhea. And at one point, Rhea hits the riptide onto some chairs that are sitting down. 1, 2, 3. Rhea pins Shayna. Now, I don't know if she's going to pin her for the championship, but it feels like now is where they have to go with Rhea now. They have to go with Rhea to beat Shayna either at the next Takeover. If they extend, I don't know if they can extend to 3 months though, because that's when the next Takeover is, which I'll get to here in a bit. Don't get me wrong, but it was great, and it was 4-on-2, and Shayna took the pin. I figured Bianca might take the pin, but no, Rhea pinned Shayna. And that was something. That was a big goddamn deal. I've been a bit critical of some of Shayna's matches being a little samey as far as some of the title matches, and whether that's on her or just on how they're booked is subject for debate. But over encompassing storyline, this was actually pretty goddamn good, and a great opening match. It's fucking terrific. It was fucking terrific. If this might be the match of the night, it's a co-match of the night with the men's War Games at the least. And I would argue is the match of the night. Because I think they exceeded my expectations. I knew the women would bring it. But fucking hell, it was like 38 minutes they brought it. Now, excuse me. Okay. Now, we have Imperium in the crowd. Just in the front row. They don't interfere in this match, shockingly. We get Damian Priest, Killian Dane, and Pete Dunne. Winner faces Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship tomorrow at Survivor Series, or today at Survivor Series, depending on when you see this. Because I'm recording this late Saturday. Lots of double. This is where the match was good. I think you could have cut a couple minutes off of this one. It would have been fine. It's not that the pay-per-view drug. It's not that this event drug at all. But, you're taking a look at like how long the War Games was. If this had been just a bit shorter, just a bit. If it hadn't gone just over there and it stopped right about here, I think it would have been fine. The match was good though. There was a good amount of double teaming, a good amount of where one, after 3 guys are in the ring, 1 guy gets knocked out, 2 guys start. So that's typical triple threat. There was a bad table spot for Dunn, like with out of the Razor's Edge. There were a few Razor's Edges during this. Priest even hitting a Razor's Edge to Dane, which is impressive. Dane clocks Dunn with just this freaking kick out, the submission. Ouch. There were a lot of, good near falls and good kick outs and stuff like that. And a lot of good pin breakups. And we get Dunn getting Dane. He got him in a sleeper. And then Dane kind of did a splash thing on, just the way it was done. It was where Dane hit a move, but Dunn was able to get the advantage because Dane knocked the wind out of him, and Dunn had pinned Priest, And I probably should have come up with different things than Dane and Dunn, because now it's Dane, Dunn, Doom for, my vocabulary. But anyway, this was a good match. Dunn got the victory. And Pete, has Dunn earned himself a shot? Yes, I'm sorry. Terrible pun. So the next takeover is February 16th in Portland. Portland is only 4 hours from me. I'm considering it. I'm considering it. Now, I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Derb about that, because the 16th, I think, is a Sunday. That evidently means that whatever pay-per-view WWE is going to have is not going to happen that day, but whatever February pay-per-view they have, which probably means it's going to happen on the 23rd. Now, I'm considering it. It is close. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, though. I don't really want to fly there, because flying would cost just as much and driving would be really far. We'll see. It would be really cool to go see. I wish it was Tacoma, or I wish it was Seattle. I know I'm greedy, but if I can't go, any of the people in Portland that happen to be watching this, please make sure to go. That's going to be a good show. And then we get Finn Balor versus Riddle. And man, all the bro puns, the bro seedings kicked off and everything. And man, they kept up the bromentum properly, if you will. Chicago bro was all happy. I'm going to keep these bro puns up. Probably not. I actually think I might have exhausted all of them on Twitter. It was great. This was great stuff. It was great wrestling. A lot of really classic stuff with Finn being the heel, working down Riddle, keeping him down, grinding him down, everything. Stop thinking about Balor grinding other men down. Stop it. Stop. You stop that. You stop that, viewers. You stop thinking about Balor grinding. I'm intentionally doing that to see if any of my viewers will actually, and few viewers I know that really like Finn, if they'll, appreciate that. This was really, really good stuff. The momentum kept trading back and forth. Man, this was really, really good. I thought Riddle was going to get the victory, actually, at some point. I actually thought he would. I was like, oh, they're going to give it to him. Nope. There was some good stuff in this. They made it look like Riddle was kept strong. Finn had to win here, though. It was Finn for the win. And the Bloody Sunday, or maybe 1916, maybe Bloody Sunday isn't the best name for it. Google Bloody Sunday and you'll figure it out. That is still what it's called, especially if you're a fan of, Prince Devitt from New Japan. And this was a good match. It was a really good match. I know it's not like I'm running through a couple of the matches between the War Games matches, but really those were the steak and the sizzle, and then you had appetizers in between. This was really, really good. Both those War Games matches were full course meals, and then there were appetizers there. Anyway, it was good. It was good, and Finn got the victory, and he looked dominant. He looked angry. He looked heelish. Riddle, I don't think, looked weak. And I like the fact that Finn won. Now, as far as the predictions, it was actually myself and Durbinator. We did our predictions. If you didn't see those, I had gotten 3 right. He'd gotten 3 right. And we just did our War Games Survivor Series predictions together because of the fact that we, didn't have time to do 2 shows. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Survivor Series. So far, we're tied. And not that we win anything. The last time we bet on something, I just said, fuck it. Let's just not bother betting. We're just 2 friends watching wrestling. But anyway, here we go with an update on the Mia, Tegan, and Dakota situation. Mia Yim is being evaluated. Tegan is being evaluated for her knee. And Dakota Kai is just angry and presumably beating the shit out of women in catering, or beating the shit out of men in catering. I don't fucking know. She could be throwing tables on everybody because she has gone nuts. And I don't blame her. I think actually her turning heel, Dakota can play a heel. And I mean, Tegan, I think, can, if they want to turn Tegan at some point, but this kind of feud between Dakota and Tegan is proper. It's really, really good stuff, and it's what needs to happen. And hopefully it's going to be good, maybe into TakeOver, if they decide to go that far. If Tegan, needs a little bit of time off to sell this thing, we'll see what happens. But anyway, we get to the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Baby, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly versus Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and Tommaso Ciampa, and a 4th guy. We don't find out who the 4th guy is until later. We get Ciampa starting with some cool face paint and everything. Roderick Strong launching the crutch outside. I don't need this, and oh shit, we've angered this guy, and he's going to beat the shit out of us. No, yeah, he's a fucking freak of nature from all the injuries he's come back from in the last 10 years. Seriously, Google how many injuries. I almost said tomato chompers because that's something Derb says, but Google how many injuries Ciampa has come back from. It's absolutely insane how he has been able to. Now I don't know, or come back so soon. I don't know how long he's got in the ring. Probably another few years. But anyway, we get some good stuff, some nice clubbing blows and some chops, some really good exchanges in his first 5 minutes. O'Reilly in next, perfect choice. MMA background with all the trimmings with how he does stuff. I mean, Thanksgiving's on the brain. Sorry, folks. This was good. O'Reilly and Strong working on Ciampa. Then we get Dominic Dijakovic. I really should just start calling him Donovan Dijak. It was an easier name. He gets in next. And at one point, it seemed like Strong tweaked his knee. Hopefully, he's okay. There were a few scary moments here where I was worried some of the Undisputed Era was injured. And no, I did not watch the Facebook Live thing to find out, A, who's on Team Rhea or Team NXT for the women or Team NXT for the men. I'll just find out after this review because it's all about War Games. We'll find out about Survivor Series tomorrow. Fish gets in next. He has some good moves. I mean, despite the fact he's, I think, just a year younger than I am, and he had a lot of injuries. I mean, and of course, he's a freakish athlete. I mean, I'm just a regular guy, but the fact he's been able to fight through so many injuries as well, he is still in great shape and fits in just fine with this team. He was hitting some good moves. And then we get Keith Lee into a huge pop, and sweet Christ, Keith Lee just going absolutely nuts. How is Keith Lee able to do this stuff at his size? How? Honestly, I mean, this isn't even me being sizist or anything like, oh, guys shouldn't be able to move like that, like, as a cliche. No, guys really shouldn't be able to move as well as he does. The guy moves so fucking well. It's absolutely incredible. And then we get Adam Cole in there to a huge pop, and we've got tables. He gets like 18,000 tables. Apparently I decided to, become a gypsy or whatever, or become Southern. It's like I'm a psychic. You gonna die. Not like Miss Cleo. But anyway, so we get a bunch of tables in the ring. Tables are set up, and he sets up a table in the barricade. Gee, I wonder why. And then Ciampa suddenly says, oh, wait, if I leave the cage, it's not illegal yet, and I won't lose for the team. So, hey, Cole, go into the table. And he just throws him into the table and then brings him in the ring. And, okay, crap, well, who the hell is going to be the fourth guy? Who's going to be the fourth guy? Everybody's in the ring, and they, tease it after the countdown and everything, and nobody comes. We're thinking Morrison. Some people were thinking CM Punk. I mean, for the love of God, I'm glad it wasn't Punk. We're thinking John Morrison or whatever. Or we could go with the guy that I picked, and I'm not the only one to pick Kevin Owens. There were other people that picked him too. But I had a feeling after Raw, with what happened with him getting beaten up by the Undisputed Era, that he was going to be part of Team NXT or Team Ciampa here to take on Undisputed Era. And it's going to be weird to see him as part of Team Raw tomorrow, unless he just defects from that, which we may be finding out on Facebook Live now. But anyway, hard to keep up with all this stuff. Owens, huge pop there, and he looked motivated. It was a very honorable ring because it's Ring of Honor, guys. It's Ring of Honor, guys. Do you fucking get it? Pretty much everybody. I don't know if Keith Lee was ever in Ring of Honor. My Ring of Honor knowledge is a little bit narrow, but I do know that Dominic Dijakovic was. I know Ciampa was at some point. So at least, 7/8 of the guys in this ring were in, 7 of the 8 guys in this ring were in Ring of Honor for sure. In fact, Lee might have been. So all these guys were in Ring of Honor at some point. But fucking Christ, it's a melee. It's a goddamn melee. Just tables, dives, everything. Just these insane moves. Everybody dives, everybody dies. I mean, thankfully nobody died. There was this Owens throwing, I think it was O'Reilly. Yeah, he threw O'Reilly into the freaking cage wall, and he's like, did that hurt? Never change Owens, never change. Get Kevin Owens on commentary when he retires, please. Retain him and have him on commentary. Then we get a Panama Sunrise, the Canadian Destroyer, onto the steel in between the rings. I would prefer that people keep their necks. Why does everybody in wrestling suddenly hate their necks? Kota, Naito, other people, Ospreay. This isn't New Japan. The whole point is a lot of people seem to hate their necks. Now they're like, I don't care. We'll just do this. We kind of need our necks. We kind of do. Ask Jason Jordan. He may never recover from the neck injury he had, which is very unfortunate. So we get tables broken just everywhere, every goddamn where. And, oh, God. This huge spot at the end. It's Ciampa and Cole at the top. And then Ciampa finally gets him, hits this huge air raid crash onto two tables that were like, late. Well, I mean, they were stood up, thankfully. But just this huge air raid crash. 1, 2, 3. And they even show Adam Cole's girlfriend. Are him and Britt Baker married? I don't know. They show her in the crowd. Cool, good. And, she was there and she was able to see her boyfriend hopefully not die. That was scary. Huge, gigantic finish as opposed to a small, gigantic finish. And by God, that was great. That was a great event. I do not often give this grade out. Even with some of the stuff, even with the three-way going a little bit long, pre-show match was good for what it was. It wasn't bad. I gotta say A. It's hard to not do that. Poll above my head. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin, and I'll see you soon.